All right, Shalom, Yasharallah. Before we get started, we don't give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Back another video, another lesson. And the title of this one's going to be called, Will You Give In to the Pressure? All right, with a pound MOTB. All right, and I got this video that I'm going to play real quick. No, not that one. Salakia. I got this video right here. I'm gonna play. It's only like 2 minutes, and it comes from off Instagram. It's AI, but it will soon be a reality. That's what the title said. But I downloaded it, so. But the title was it was AI, but this will soon be a reality. All right, so let's listen in.
Step forward in our national security. Let's go live to reporter Sarah Martinez at the registration center downtown.
More than 50,000 people have come here this morning to register. This is the future of secure identification,
linking identity, healthcare, and payments in one verified system.
When the mark of the beast is introduced, countries will present it as a matter of national security. Every financial institution, from the banks, hospital, and even supermarkets, will state that it is a requirement that you have the mark.
I'm sorry, but without the mark, we can no longer provide you access.
Banks won't allow you to access any funds without it, and supermarkets won't allow you to purchase any goods without it.
You'll need to get registered before you can shop here, sir.
Hospitals won't treat any patient who hasn't been marked.
I'm sorry, ma'am, we can't proceed without your digital mark.
The mark of the beast won't be branded as evil. No, the mark will be incentivized. Early takers will be offered discounts and access to products and services. Then, gradually, those benefits will be exclusive, only to be available for the marked. They'll call it modern convenience. You'll call it a small price to pay, until the day you can't eat without it. Can't travel.
Reminder, all riders must verify digital identity before boarding.
Can't breathe in society
I'm sorry, sir, we can't proceed without verification.
unless you bear the symbol. You see, when the mark of the beast is introduced, the Antichrist will make life without it so difficult that many will simply cave into the pressure. People will feel the pressure from society to conform.
James Carter, please follow me to room 4.
You will see a desperate longing in the faces of people who just want life to return to normal. They simply want to be able to buy and sell freely. They want to work, socialize, and cling to whatever freedom they once had. The price to pay for this? A simple mark on the forehead or on the right hand.
All right, so as you saw in the video, all right, they were speaking on the mark. What was a breaking news? You know, the mark of the beast system. All right, and as you saw in the video, without it, you couldn't do anything really. You couldn't get any food. You couldn't travel. All right, you couldn't get a doctor's appointment. All right, this is how the devil, all right, Esau Edom is gonna operate. All right, he's gonna play on the people's flesh. Because he's not a spiritual man. He's a carnal man. So he's going to use carnal things, all right, to get the people to conform. Without it, you can't eat. Without it, you can't go to the doctor. Without it, you can't buy and sell. And that's what it says in let's get that. Revelation 13. We always bring this out. All right, starting with our apostles, the bishops and the elders of Great Millstone who've been teaching this, who didn't change up. They didn't switch doctrine. All right, they may have brought out more information on it, but they never switched it up. They never, backed out of it. They kept it real since day one. All right, Revelation 13 and 16, okay? It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And as we always go into, that word mark, all right? The word mark is the Greek word charagma. Charagma, all right?
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Charagma or charagma or charagma, all right? This is a stamp, an imprinted mark, all right, of the stamp of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, all right? This is the mark branded upon horses. And if you look up why are horses branded, we can look at cattle. Why are cattle branded? All right, cattle branding is primarily used for identification, ownership. So they're gonna own you. They're gonna say you belong to me. All right, you are my servant. Right, and theft deterrence. All right, so identification, ownership. All right, traceability. Traceability. Branding aids in tracking livestock, and that's how they look at you people. That's how they look at the masses of the world, as cattle, as livestock. They don't look at you as human beings. All right, you're slaves to them. Well, we're slaves to them. All right. It says branding aids in tracing livestock throughout the production chain, which is crucial for food safety and disease control. All right, and they're going to be able to trace you with this mark. All right, it's going to act as a what do you call it? It's like a is it an NFC, something like that? Is it near field communications? It's something like that. We can look it up later, Lord willing. But it says the mark branded upon horses. Okay, things carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. Okay, so this is a physical thing. And you got camps out here who are not teaching, the correct breakdown on the mark of the beast. All right, they're giving you the runaround because either they're paid off or they truly just don't know. The Lord's not dealing with them in the spirit, But we believe some of these camps are paid off. Most of the camps are paid off. All right, and you do have sincere, brothers and sisters among them, but the Lord's have to bring them out of that, But the rest, they're just mindless sheep that they're just following anything that's being said. It says the simple believe of every word. All right, so they're just simple-minded. All right, here at Great Millstone, starting with the apostles and elders on down, they tell us, look it up. Don't believe us. Look it up for yourself. All right, you gotta be like the Church of Berea. You gotta do research. It says study to show thyself approved. Does it not? All right. So that's what we do. On our own time, on our own leisure, we look up things. All right, that they may say. It may be controversial. It may not be, but we still look it up to confirm. Okay. So that word mark in the Greek is charagma, and like we read, a stamp and imprinted mark. This is going to be inserted in your hand, all right, or in your forehead. You got the Neuralink, and you got other besides the Neuralink, you got other other companies that does this as well. Neuralink is just not the only one, but they're out on the forefront. Elon Musk. So going back, it reads, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma, a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And it really doesn't matter what hand it goes into, because in Sweden they got it. I believe they got it in their left hand, something like that. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell. Okay, and as you saw in that video, in that clip, see if we can get it. Look at him. I'll play it again.
Can't travel.
Reminder, all riders must verify digital identity before boarding.
Can't breathe in society
I'm sorry, sir. We can't proceed without verification.
unless you bear the symbol. You see,
So unless you have the mark, you can't do nothing. You can't get no job. You can't eat. You can't travel. All right, you can't walk down the block. That's how Esau's gonna make it, because they want the people to conform to their way. All right, they want people to conform to their new world order. All right, they want you on the grid. They want to track and trace everything that you do. This is a world that it's going to come to. Well, this is what the world is going to come to soon. You know, let's get so yeah, will you give into the pressure? All right, and a lot of Israelites are going to give into that pressure. They're Israelites now because it looks good. They having the parties and everything, but soon. Let's get Ezekiel real quick. I ain't want to make this long, but let's get that. Is it 21 or is it 7? 21, right? This is Ezekiel 21:8. Again, the word of the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, came unto me saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord. All right, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, that's the son's name. Say a sword. A sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? Right? We know what mirth is. Happiness, right? It says, it contemneth the rod of my son as every tree, and he have given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. All right, and who's sharpening that sword? Esau Edom is the Lord. Through Esau Edom is sharpening that sword, man. And the sword just don't always be physical. Actual sword. We know they're gonna come down with great wrath and unalive a lot of people, especially us, Jake. But the sword also could be the science, the different things that they have. All right, and a lot of you Israelites, a lot of y'all gonna give in because you're not being led the right way, or you want to do your own thing. You don't want to come under you say you hate the camps. You're a camp hater. So you want to just do it on your own. When you can't do it on your own, you're gonna need when time of trouble comes, you're gonna need somebody to help you. So let's get I want to start with man. Let's get this one. Let's get Matthew 16 real quick. All right. This is what Yahweh Shah says. This is Matthew 16, and I'm gonna start at 24. Matthew 16:24. And then it reads, it says, then Yahweh Shai, that was his true name. All right, his name was not no Jesus, because the letter J didn't come around. The letter J wasn't around back then. Neither was the English language. All right, the letter J come around like the 1500s, mid 1500s. All right. Then said Yahweh Shai unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. You look at that word cross. All right. The word cross. It says a cross, a well-known instrument. All right. The Greeks, Romans, yada, yada, yada. It says a stake or a post, a pole. It says right here, i.e., self-denial. So you got to deny yourself. All right, take up your cross, take up your burdens. The things that you go through in daily life. Right. Verse 25: for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will save his life for my sake, and whosoever will. I'm sorry, let me slow down. And whosoever will lose his life for my sake will save it. So you trying to save your life. You want to, like we saw in that video, you can't eat. And hey, let's push it further. You may have a family. You may have a wife. You may have kids, and they're crying. They're hungry. They can't eat. All right. And she's telling you, babe, we got to do something. We got to, instead of trusting in the Lord, you say, you know what? You're right. We gotta eat. We gotta take care of ourselves. So you just say, you say F it, and you go down to wherever you going, CVS or whatever you walk into, and say, hey, we want to get, you want to get chipped up, So you're trying to save your life. You're trying to preserve your life. You're trying to forge your life in Esau's world. I'm gonna look at that video again.
longing in the faces of people who just want life to return to normal.
You want life to return to normal. You know, you want to go back to, going out and having fun. So let's read it again. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. All right. And a lot of people, they're going to try to save their lives, especially those who are Israelites. Because like I said, you don't really know what's coming. You don't really understand what's, being prepared for us, especially those, if you call yourself Hebrew Israelite, you don't know what's really coming for us. We're about to be hated on another level. You're about to be looked at. We're already being looked at, but you're going to be persecuted. You're going to be thrown in jail, right? You're going to be unalived, beheaded, right? We'll get that, Lord willing. Okay. Verse 26, for what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul or his life? All right, because your soul belongs to the Lord, but you're trying to, you want to gain material things in the world, so you give your life up, So let's get 2 Timothy 2 and 3, because this is what it says. 2 Timothy 2 and 3, it says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach. So we got to endure hardness. You get this word endure. All right. Endure means
Strong's G 2553. Kakapatheo. Kakapatheo.
kakapatheo in the Greek. It says to suffer evils, hardships, troubles, to be afflicted. So you're going to suffer. You're going to go through sufferings, especially when that time comes. All right, you're gonna go a couple, but you gotta rely. Didn't the Lord say, "My servant shall eat"? All right, the Lord said that. He said, "His servant shall eat" in Isaiah 60, the 65th chapter. Those are the things you're gonna have to remember, keep in the back of your mind in those times. All right, so you got to suffer, endure evils, hardships, troubles, to be afflicted. All right, to undergo hardship, be afflicted, endure afflictions, hardness, suffer trouble. So you have to suffer those type of things. You may have to go a few days without, eating. You're gonna be away from your family. You may, be away from your wife and your kids, but you can't be worried about that, or your siblings. Especially your brothers, because that's your truth. That's our true family right there. Those of us who are in this ministry, we're the true. We are the truth. This is our true family, because we're of that number, and we of the elect. We were with Yahushua in the beginning, creating the heavens and the earth with him. All right. But that's so we're this is our true family right here. All right, we're coming back together. All right, but hey, you're gonna be away from. You may be on your own. You're gonna be away from brothers. You're gonna be you may be in a prison where it's just you. You may be around other people, but it's just you. You don't know nobody. All right, you can't call on the brothers to help you. No, it's not gonna be that way. All right. So it says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier. You got to be a good soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach. All right, and this is for, first and foremost myself, but for also you brothers and you few sisters who are listening and learning. Right? Let's get Ephesians 6 and 10. I want to bring this out. All right, the whole armor of God. Okay? Ephesians 6 and 10. The armor of God is the title. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. All right, let's get the word wiles. Okay? We're going to look at that word devil too. Wiles.
Strong's G 3180. Methodiah. Methodiah.
Methodiah in the Greek. All right? It says cunning arts, deceit, craft, trickery. All right? And what this devil is doing is coming with craftiness, with trickery. Okay, because he's gonna like he said in that video, it's not the mark of the beast. Is not gonna be as something seen as evil. They're gonna make it. They're gonna push it as convenience. Something that's good. You gotta carry around your keys, your wallet. With a touch of a hand, you can pay for everything, right? With the Neuralink, with the brain C hip, you can have your family members to walk again, to see again, to hear again. To do things that they couldn't do before. You know, when they needed help, they don't need help anymore. They can, you know, walk. They can talk. Right? They're gonna come with those lying wonders, those lying wonders, those signs that speaks about in 2 Thessalonians. All right. So they're gonna come with this deceit. They're gonna come with trickery. Okay. Oh, let's get that word devil. Salakia. That word devil.
Strong's
Diabolos.
G 1228.
Or diabolos.
Diabolos.
Okay. Diabolos. And it says prone to slander. And this is the same word that's in Revelation 12:12. Right? The word is a metaphor applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of the Heavenly Father, may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. And that's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man today, starting with the top banking elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all right, and the rest of those families that's up there, you know, Amalek. That's who they are, all right. This is the devil. This is a deceitful, all right, a deceitful, crafty, sly, cunning man, all right. So it says, put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles, the trickery, the crafts of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. You look, I looked up rulers. That word rulers, right? Rulers, the Lord of the world, prince of this age. Who's the prince? Who's the Lord of this world? We know it's spiritual demon Satan, all right? But the Lord of this world is Esau, Edom. Because the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. It says the prince of this age, the devil and his demons, a world ruler, an epithet of Satan. All right. So Esau, Edom is the Lord of this world because they rule over it. It was given into their hands by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, he's the prince of this age, but soon there's gonna be as soon as his word's gonna be taken down. That's why he's trying to move quickly. He's trying to get everything in place. So it says, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God. So we got to put on the whole armor of God, you know, so we can stand against the wiles of the devil. Okay, so we can stand against the mark of the beast. In that day, it says, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, take the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. All right, so if we have these things spiritually, we can stand against the wiles of the devil, man. All right, we can stand against the craft and the trickery that he's coming with. Okay, let's get this last one. Let's get Sirach 2:2. This is a favorite. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 2, and I'll start at 1. It reads, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Okay, so you're gonna be tempted. All right, it says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. We read what endure meant. All right, to suffer affliction, constantly endure and make not haste in a time of trouble. Cleave unto him, unto who? Yahweh and his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You're gonna go through adversity. And what's that one? Let's get I'm gonna read this real quick. Revelation 3:10. This is what the Yahweh Shai says. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. What does patience mean? Okay, patience, steadfastness, constancy, endurance. All right. In the New Testament, the characteristic of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose and his loyalty to faith and piety by even the greatest trials and sufferings. It says patiently and steadfastly. All right, a patient steadfast waiting for. So we got to be patient. We got to endure. Okay. So it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world. This is gonna be it's not gonna be just in America. The mark of the beast is not going to be just in America. It's gonna be all over the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay. But it says, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. The Lord says he will keep us, Lord, when we have that number. All right. He'll keep us from the hour of temptation, man. He'll keep us protected. He'll keep us safe. And don't forget, Isaiah, the 65th chapter and the 13th verse, I believe, around that verse. The Lord says, my servant shall eat. So if you have that number, if you have the elect, the Lord's going to keep you protected. He's going to have provisions made for you. It's probably made for you already. We just haven't, gotten to that part yet. So, you don't worry, brothers and sisters out there. You're gonna be taken care of by Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah himself. So, I want to get this. Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, all right, shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death. Be thou faithful. All right, didn't say keep the law. Be thou faithful. Now, don't get me wrong. We do keep the law to the best of our ability, but that's not going to save you. Okay? Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Okay? You'll be thrown into a FEMA camp. All right? They may try to get you to take the chip. They're going to try they're going to try to starve you or whatever. But you got to be faithful unto death, man. You may face a guillotine or a firing squad or whatever. Be faithful unto death, and you'll get a crown of life, man. Hey, better than that than to stay here. Just to be honest with you, So we can't give in. Will you give in to the pressure? All right, and like I said, a lot of Israelites is going to give in to that pressure, man, because they're not really preparing themselves for that time to come. Their leaders are not preparing them for that time. They're preparing them to, they're having parties and cookouts and. Which is nothing really wrong with that, but that doesn't need to be out in the forefront. We don't need to see that. You can keep that to yourself. I'm pretty sure brothers do it. Different brothers, they have cookouts and they get together. But now is not the time to be, in the mirthful spirit. We got a job to do. We're put here to bring out the words of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah and proclaim the kingdom. Okay, so will you give in to the pressure? MOTB, and Lord willing, we pray and we hope that the Lord put a spirit on us to stay away from it, because we could be subject to it. So Lord willing, it was edifying. We're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and citations to the hopeful elect. Lord, we was edified. Till next video, I'm going to say, Shalom.